I was almost like, stop breathing.
I really like the movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
With me afterwards.
Thank you.
Guys at speed?
Speed. Cool.
Fine, good to go.
So I'm going to begin by asking, I just want to check, because I've been calling him J.R.R. Tolkien my entire life. Is Tolkien? Is that right?
We talked to several Tolkien experts. And there's always that, I think there was a bit of a debate how long the E is. Like, is it Tolkien? Some would say that, but I think that's more of a homage. But it derives from a German word. So I mean that if you look at that and how that then linguistically, so Tolkien is quite correct. I mean, I don't think it's a huge crime if you say Tolkien, but you can't say Tolkien.
No. And be honest, did you know that before you got involved in this project?
In Finnish, you say Tolkien.
Oh, okay, so that's close.
And Finnish being a Lutheran country as German, so kind of it's not totally wrong.
I see.
It's appreciated in that sense, but in Finnish it's very different. So I've been trying to educate the Finnish audiences all the time.
And was it? Yeah, what was it? Obviously, I think this film it's a biopic, obviously by very nature, but it's a film about friendship, isn't it? Above anything else, that's what I took from it, at least.
Yeah, actually, it was intriguing that I didn't approach it from a biopic approach. It's more of as you said, it's a film of friendship, and it's the emotional feeling when you find these friends and they inspire you, and how they, in a way, you create with them and each other, and it's and I kind of approach it from a perspective of imagination. Like if I go see a Tolkien film, whether I'm a fan or as I am really a deep-rooted fan, but if I go watch a Tolkien film, I want to know how his imagination grows. Right, so that was kind of for me, it was more of a film about love, friendship, and creation.
So for you as well, the formative years were more interesting, would you say, in his life?
Yeah, that's the surprise for me, because I knew about the C.S. Lewis era, the Inklings era, the Oxford era. As a fan, that's kind of the first story you hear. But what surprised me was this amazing and very cinematic youth that he experienced. You become an orphan. And your friends become kind of a home for you, and then you lose that group, go into war with them. Then this love story, of course, which feels like it's written for a movie with Edith Bratt, and becomes a eternal love story in his books.
I was wondering too about the being kind of subtle, because in biopics, particularly ones that are set in kind of the early stages of someone's life, you often have quite forced moments. So for example, like he could be walking down the street and he sees a ring on the floor and picks it up, and it's almost like light bulb moment of that's where the Lord of the Rings comes from. And you get those moments in films. I was wondering about how you went about implementing little sort of nuggets of information about his future and about Lord of the Rings, but managing to stay understated at the same time, which you did do.
Well, because we try to avoid that. Yeah. And he himself also said that, he wasn't really one-on-one inspired about anything. I mean, the only one that we know definitely is the story of Kullervo, a Finnish mythological story that then inspired Turanbar's story in Silmarillion. Otherwise, it's about him kind of shaping his life and shaping his mind. So we're not claiming that this is exactly where he found or been inspired about something. We are showing how his mind works. He himself would see something or hear something and then write about it something, but then would blossom into something else. And that's the film, like how it works. Every idea, every vision, even the sound of the trees, everything that he hears, sees, kind of slowly and slowly, there are ideas, and they kind of become one large painting that he draws.
Because I was wondering too, obviously, when you're dealing with a subject matter, obviously lived in real life, and obviously Sad is no longer with us. What was the one question you most would have liked to have asked him when you were making it? Was it one thing you wanted to find out that wasn't available to you, but something you just wish you could have sat down with him and asked him to help the film?
Perhaps not while I was shooting the film, but now, because he was said that he didn't really like biographies. But I think it was coming from a storyteller point of view that life is quite boring often, and. I would love to ask him, sit down, watch the film with him and ask him, did we make the right choices to make your life dramatical so that it resonates the true emotion of you? I believe so, but I would want to sit with him and ask. And I think he would be so kind that he would just probably say, well, I'm just happy you didn't make it boring.
Yeah. And my final question was just one of the things that really stuck with me with this was the war scenes. And you're thinking, because obviously he went to war, he fought in the war before he went on to write all of his sort of acclaimed novels. And it started making me think about the talent that we might have lost in the wars, the young men that might have gone on to be the next Shakespeare or the next Tolkien. You know, I was just wondering if that was something that you were quite interested in tapping into, because I've never really thought about it from that perspective before.
It was very much one of the motives, not the main motive, but one of the motives to do this. There's a societal element in them. That's the, you know, we think of war as an option, which is it's just horrifying. Even the idea. You look at these four boys, one a painter who also wrote, you know, theater, one a writer, one a, you know, poet and a musician. And those souls, innocent souls that wanted to change the world with art, want to create, inspire others, and their innocent souls are destroyed by a nationalist ideal of going to war. And I hope this film lets you understand that, at least at some level.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.